Hello.
Happy 2023.
Happy 2023. What are we going to talk about? Well, we got a surprise.
I'm not pregnant.
You better not be. Don't need that. Anyway, we after our 2022 was a different year for us, so we didn't do a lot of videos.
We're glad it's closed.
Glad it's closed. We did get a new grandchild, that was a good part of it.
The best part of 2022.
Yeah. Lauren had surgery for diverticulitis, so we went through that. Camping wise, our camper was in repair due to that tire blowout, which we had the Westlake tire incident, which caused a lot of damage to our camper, and due to supply shortages and everything. What was it there, about 4 months or so? Something
like that, a long time.
Yeah, it was crazy, which was the first time that our camper, since we owned it and we bought it new, it had been outdoors, because we kept it in a covered garage, basically, to protect it from the elements. During that time, we went and looked at a lot of different campers. We looked at fifth wheels. We looked at a lot of different things. Trucks. We bought a new truck to haul whatever we wanted to haul.
Well, either way, we were going to need a new truck.
Yeah, our truck, which was our 1500, which we pulled our camper with for quite some time, actually, and did a really good job. We had no problems with that, but it was getting up in miles, and really never really had any problems with it. No. Though it was a good truck. It was a Ram 1500.
But it was right at the weight capacity limit, whatever.
Yeah,
made you uneasy sometimes. So
yeah, and in order to make weight, we basically only we didn't travel as a family. We took a separate car.
Just the dog.
Yeah, so basically Lauren would come with extra gear and our clothes and different things and groceries and stuff like that, and a lot of the groceries we would put in the night before. But there was the weight issue. We never traveled with water, so I would typically take the camper by myself or with Madison, our youngest daughter, who doesn't weigh anything, and we would go up and we would set up. And then Lauren would meet us up there later after she got off work and stuff. So, but our big reveal here.
We got a 2023 Grand Design 315
BH
Transcend.
We stayed with Transcend. We looked at the Imagines. We looked at the Montanas. We looked at the Solitudes. We came close to buying the Solitude, the biggest one that they make.
Go big or go home.
Go big or go home, I guess. But and we got a really good deal on it. It was over $100 grand. Just didn't want to pull that kind of money out to buy something that was going to depreciate. We had second thoughts about that. It was, there's a lot you can do with that kind of money, and didn't feel that it was worth it at the particular time. Maybe down the road we'll pull the plug on something like that, but just didn't we're not ready for that type of a rig yet, just because of it's just us. Yeah, she wanted it, but I'm just, driving and doing all that stuff, that's not a problem. Loading it up, doing the maintenance, that's not an issue. That's not the problem. The biggest issue is the price of RVs right now, and I just didn't want to, to me, even though we got a good deal, I felt we were overpriced, and we're starting to see that now as the prices are coming down. So we may take another look at that now that the prices are starting to come down, the sales are going down, and things are starting to even out and adjust out. So we'll see what happens in the future. But anyway, we ended up staying with the Transcend. When we you know, if you've been following our channel, or and no, we actually when we bought our other Transcend, we were looking at the Imagines. Now, we had been following Grand Design for years, since they first came out, and one of the very first trailers that pull behinds that we really liked was a 2800 BH, and we were,
it was an Imagine.
it was an Imagine, and it was completely different. Grand Design was changing the way everybody was doing everything, because everything was those god awful colors and these blues and these greens and these hideous light browns, and everybody was the same.
All of ours.
Yeah, I'm looking at it too, but it looks more modern at least. Yeah, we're in brown now, but it's a different type of brown,
Yeah.
and a lot of those, they just look like an old folks home. Sorry if you're
old folk.
if you're an old folk. Well, I'm an old folk, damn it. So I guess by some standards, if you're 12 years old, I'm old. So anyway, our daughters think I'm old. So, but anyway, so we looked around at a lot of different things. We really like, I personally like the stick and tins, which is the aluminum outsides. One of the things that Lauren didn't like about the stick and tins that were out there on the market was the fact that they all had that ripple, very dated skin on the outside that
They just look cheap.
yeah, it does look cheap, and well, they are. The metal on the outsides are very, very thin. So we really didn't like that. Grand Design came out with their own stick and tin, which was, and still to this day is very unique to the market. When we first saw them, we were really taken aback. Their metal on the outside is, and a lot of you have probably seen these already, but their metal's a lot thicker. What most people are using on their front cap, Grand Design is using on their sides and their rear. So it's, and yes, I got to shave. I shaved. But anyway, it's a much thicker. You can beat the outside of this stuff pretty good. They've thrown footballs up against it and stuff, and it hasn't dented. And the front cap is even thicker than the outside. So this is a pretty thick metal. The way it tucks into and the way it adheres to it to itself, it's like if you ever done vinyl siding or anything like that, it's very similar. How they lock into place with this almost a Turnabond seal that's in there. So it's not really a Turnabond. What's that stuff called? Putty that you put on when you're putting something on the roof. But anyway, it's got that kind of stuff on there, so they seal really well. The nice thing about having these is if you do have to have a repair, these panels can be replaced. They can be ordered online from Grand Design. They can come down. You can fix things on the inside, and a lot easier. If you have something that goes wrong with your fiberglass sides, basically, and there's damage to that wall. I've done fiberglass work, but you know, with boats and stuff, it's a lot of work. Most of the time, that's going to have to go back to Elkhart, Indiana, and you're going to have to take your rig there to get that work done. So for that damage, you know, unless you're going to have an unsightly thing on the side of your rig where fiberglass patched out, because there's no way you're going to match the everything there, the gel coat and everything perfectly. So that's kind of one of the things. Delamination is another one that happens. You know, if you get water in there, you know, they do have some new types of things that are out there, but most of the companies aren't using that yet. So that was one of our reasons for going with the Transcends. The other thing is everybody's going light. Transcends are heavier. This is a heavy unit, and we looked around at a lot of different things, and like I said, we looked at fifth wheels, we looked at just about everything, and we really like the Grand Design Transcends. You know,
well, I also came up with the conclusion that if we're going to do a fifth wheel, I'm doing the fifth wheel that I want, which is the Back Daddy whatever. I didn't see the point in spending the money on the fifth wheel that I really didn't want when the trailer had more options, in my opinion, that better suited
Yeah.
us.
And Grand Design does make a reflection that was basically the exact same floor plan of our previous Transcend, and but we looked at it and we really weren't gaining anything. They're pretty close in length. The only thing that you were doing was basically it was a fifth wheel, and you lost in the bathroom because we had that big bathroom in our previous Transcend, and we lost because it becomes a half bath because you got the hall. We have that same issue with this particular
There's pros
camper.
and cons. Like,
Yeah.
Haley came over the other night and she was asking if I like this one better than the other one. And there's certain aspects, like you're going to have that with any rig. Do I miss our bathroom in our 265?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, by far.
And
but I think what we gain
yes.
instead of that bathroom outweighed just getting another 265 BH.
Yeah, and we did look at, because I can tell you, we looked for 4 years before we settled on our 265, before we pulled the plug on that. And we, like I said, we liked the Imagine, but then when Grand Design came out with these Transcends, we looked at them. There's a couple of floor models that we really liked.
Excuse me.
Yeah, a much smaller one. And then when she went into the 265, she said, "This is it. You got to look at this one." And ironically, the 265 BH became Grand Design's, and I confirmed this with the rep from Grand Design. It became their #1 selling floor plan, and as of last I had heard, it is still their #1 selling floor plan. So, and it is a very nice floor plan, especially for like what we used it for weekend use and going on extended holidays and things like that. It was just very, very fitting for the family, the dog, and everything. It's just a great floor plan. Do we miss it? Yeah, we do. It was a great camper, very reliable. We really had very few to no issues. We had the skylight thing that everybody and all the manufacturers had the same issue with.
Yeah.
It wasn't just Grand Design. It was all the new ones. Hell,
Oh,
when we
really?
were out at Grade,
That
what was
and the
it?
tires.
Yeah, that and the
That was
tires.
really it.
And when we were out there at Lazy Days, they had over 50% of their units at that particular time. The lady said that had skylight issues. So, and they were brand new units. So it was something that was going on at that particular time. But anyway, that was the only issue that we had with our Grand Design. We took very good care of it. Our Transcend, we took very good care of it. And then Lauren found this one, which is a brand new floor plan. They came out with it last year.
Because we had already made up our mind that we were going to trade in our old 2021
Yes, 2021. We bought
For
it
a-
in 2020 though. Yeah.
for a 23 265 bunkhouse, and then we happened to be leaving, and you're already there, so what's the harm in going in one more travel trailer?
Yeah, and we didn't look at heavier travel trailers because of our truck issue, but now that wasn't an option or a problem anymore. Ironically, when we saw this floor plan, which we'll show you in a minute, and ironically,
It's a work in progress, so please excuse.
yeah,
the
we're
mess.
getting everything situated. We bought a bunch of stuff for it. We're getting everything put away. I've got a lot of different things that I'm doing in here that we're working on. But we saw some things in this one that we would be able to utilize. And for some more extended stays that we're looking at doing within the area of where we live. So, and some longer weekend getaways, because Lauren still has to go into work, so we're still doing that. I work remotely, so it really doesn't matter.
Hello.
Hello. Anyway, okay, she's going to get the phone. So there were a lot of advantages that we saw in this one, and there are some disadvantages that we knew we were going to face and going from our Transcend to this unit. One of the things was external or outside storage capacity. Okay, our Transcend 265, that, in my opinion, obviously don't beat me up, in my opinion, that travel trailer has the best outside storage storage of any travel trailer out there that I've seen. We had the big pass-through storage, and then we also had the rear storage on that one, which I utilized for our hoses and all kinds of stuff. So it had a lot of storage. I missed that back compartment a lot, because it was real nice. I had all of our, basically when on setup and breakdown day, all that stuff was stored in the back. I had the hoses, I had the cords, all that stuff was in the back, which left our pass-through for chairs, things like that. So so we had to organize, and we actually got rid of a lot of stuff that we had bought when we bought that camper and really didn't use too much. You know, so anyway, make the bathroom on the Transcend 265 much bigger. We did like that. We've got a bit of a smaller bathroom here, so that extra space that we missed on the 265, we did miss that. This camper, the advantages to it is interior storage space. We've got a ton of interior storage space, cabinets galore, which we're going to show you in just a bit. You know,
I think
and
there should be a different video, but go ahead.
okay, well, all right, but anyway, well, might as well while we're doing it. So we got to clean it. But anyway, so but to make a long story short, this one is a bunkhouse as well, but we're able, which we're in the process of doing, but we basically, it had a dinette in the back in the bunkhouse, which we have taken out, and we'll show you in another video of that. But we took that out. We're making that into an office. We haven't completed that yet, but that's being made into an office, so I can work remotely in the event that we're on the road or whatever. Lauren and I can both work remotely in emergency situations. Her job allows her to work remotely. We live in Florida. We have hurricanes and all kinds of things. But the interior storage, one of the things that we were concerned about was counter space, because our 265 had a ton of counter space. This one has a lot of counter space as well. And when we're talking about counter space, it was places to put your coffee maker and a lot of the appliances that we use on a regular basis. Our coffee maker is a big one.
Gotta have that.
Gotta have that. We actually invested into an ice machine, ice maker, which we kind of like, as a matter of fact. We didn't think we would. We got this thing on sale at Walmart, wasn't it? Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you know, because we have, you know, we like adult beverages, we like our drinks and things like that, and there's never any ice unless you have to go buy a bag of ice, and then you got to store it and all that crap. So this little thing makes ice, which we really like, but you know, it takes up some counter space. And then we also wanted, which when we bought our 265, we wanted that U-dinette because we had our previous camper.
Hindsight's 2020. Like
yeah, it is. And we couldn't understand, because at the time the ones with the theater seating, the 265s with theater seating, were selling like hotcakes, and they had one 265 on the lot, but it was sold. And when we and then we got a phone call from our salesman at Lazy Days, and he said, hey, the financing didn't go through on that one. Are you still interested in it? So otherwise we were going to have to wait for another one to come in. So we said, no, let's do it. Let's do the deal. So we did, and we love that camper. Okay. The other thing, but we found that we really didn't use the dinette. We mostly cooked outside.
Even though it's a U-dinette, really Madison and I were the only two that sat at the U-dinette. Bobby would sit in the little jackknife with the TV table, so it kind of like defeated the whole purpose of having the U-dinette. So
yeah, and a lot of times we cooked, you know, we have the Blackstone, so a good portion of the time we cooked outside. So it really didn't, you know, we really didn't have that
It wasn't as advantageous, I guess, as I thought it was going to be.
Right. When the kids were little or smaller and
If
they were
they
traveling,
were, yeah.
it was a different situation. But we found that we really didn't use the U-dinette that much, and the fact that you would really have to sit on the jackknife to watch the TV. So, and I would anyway.
You
so,
would. Madison and I would just sit like long ways on the
Yeah.
U-dinette end pieces. We just used it like a lounge chair, and we would just put our feet out or whatever. But
Yeah, and the other one was the absorption refrigerator, which worked off of propane or electric. Um, really didn't have any problems with it. It actually worked good.
it worked too good.
Yeah, it did it sometimes. The nice thing about it was you could adjust cooling, but let me tell you, that thing got cold.
I froze more vegetables or fruit than
Yeah.
ever could have thought possible.
Yep, and
In the refrigerator, not even in the freezer.
No, and now we redid the chimney on that too to make it more efficient. The way it came stock from the manufacturer.
Well, it came apart.
Well, yeah, and it wasn't, it was basically all staples and stuff. It really wasn't done very efficiently. Plus, the amount of air wasn't able to travel the way it needed to from the manufacturer. So
Bobby fixed it.
Yeah, I redid that whole chimney, and yeah, I have an engineering background, so we redid that whole chimney area in the back to make it a lot more efficient. Made it really efficient because it was using a lot less propane, a lot less, well, overall energy, put it that way, to get the job done. We were at Fort DeSoto. It was camping on the beach in 97, 98 degree weather, and it froze our vegetables. So, so that was one of the things that you really had to look at. But the nice thing about that one was you could adjust how cold the refrigerator got. It had these little snowflake things, and you could adjust how. So we kind of knew, and we kind of got into a habit of, if we put it on 5, we knew that regardless of what the temperature was outside, unless it's excruciating hot, it pretty much, if you put strawberries, it would freeze. It'd freeze the eggs and everything. So you had to back it down. And then when we traveled, and I know some people are against it, but some people are for it. But if you're an old time RVer, those absorption style refrigerators were made for RVs for a reason, and they're made to run on propane while you're going down the highway, so that when they use a little bit of the 12 volt, but for the most part they're using that. Well, guess what I did? I erased all the footage accidentally from that video. So now you got me, unfortunately, but I would like to blame that on Lauren, that she had something to do with the erasing of the footage, but darn, I can't. Anyway, make a long story short, and to summarize, we bought a Transcend 315 BH new model for a lot of different reasons for us. One of the reasons was we realized that we didn't need the U-dinette. The other reason is so we wanted the theater seats. The other reason is the absorption style fridge. Lauren wanted more of the. She wanted the 12 volt fridge, which has made it easier when we're traveling. And the reason is we would have to stop. I'd have to turn off the propane when we were traveling to get gas, because you got an open flame in there. So I would turn I would stop somewhere before we got to a gas station, turn off the propane, turn off the fridge, and then we'd pull into the gas station. As soon as I left, I'd find another place to pull over. I'd crank it all back on again, and we'd be on our way. Wasn't really that big of an issue, but more of a little bit of an inconvenience, I guess. With our diesel pusher, we do go further, so that doesn't happen as much. And with this new 12 volt fridge, we really don't have to worry about that anymore. The other thing is like in Virginia and places like that, when we're going under tunnels and stuff like that, we really couldn't, do that with an open flame. We'd have to stop again, turn off all our propane, etc. And then it came to the theater seats, which we found that we ate outside most of the time anyway. So we really didn't use the dinette as much as what we thought we would. One of the other reasons is ours was a 2021 early model because we bought it in 2020. The 2021 and a half started coming out with solar packages. Basically, ours was solar prep, but didn't have the solar. This one had the solar on the roof, and we could have did all that probably cheaper than what we could have buying another rig. But you know, our previous camper was great. It served its purpose, did a great job for us, but again, we wanted something a little bit bigger and something that would do this. This is the office that I've created, and I'll show you more details of what we did here. This is still a work in progress. I still got some things I've got to build for this office. Some filing cabinets and stuff, but we basically converted this bunk into an office, and we still have the bunks on the other side over here that we can use for people that are staying over and stuff. So we really didn't need anything. This here, where this was a dinette, and it was outside of it being used for small children. It really wasn't feasible for anything else, which I think that's what it was made for anyway. But anyway, we saw an opportunity there to pull that out, and a great opportunity to make a office. So, which we have done. When we traded in our camper, our 265BH, they, on our trade-in day, one thing we really like about Lazy Days RV in Tampa, which they're from my understanding, they're the largest RV dealership in the nation, but we've been dealing with them for years. We know a lot of people there. We know a lot of the service techs. We're personal friends with some of them, so we really like them as far as the dealership is concerned. One of the things that we really like about them is when you buy a camper from them, they always allow you to sleep on the property, and they actually recommend it that you stay the night in the camper, just to check everything, to make sure everything works. They go through it as well to make sure everything works, but they like you to stay the night, and use the camper there in their facilities. It's all hooked up and everything. You don't have your water and stuff, but you do have, oh no, actually we did have water. We didn't have sewer, so we had to just take that to the dump station, but no big deal. But we did have, I think they filled us up with fresh water, I don't remember, but anyway, we got to use the camper, so which we really like. In the process, one of the things that they did was they took our old camper and they put it right next to our new camper, and they faced the doors together so that we could move stuff in and out. I really didn't think it was going to take that long, but boy, do you accumulate a lot of stuff. It took a lot longer than I expected it to take, and we actually took us several days, believe it or not. And of course, that was with Lauren buying a lot of new stuff for the new camper. So, but anyway, we also were purging a lot of stuff that we really didn't use anymore, and stuff that our children had got outgrown and stuff in the last couple of years that they weren't using anymore. But during that process, a salesman came by with a couple and their children, and they were looking at ours. They were looking at a 265 as well, and the inspector had just left that came and went through, and he actually told us that we took really good care of the unit. It was in great condition, as blah blah blah. Anyway, these people who are found us on YouTube. We really hope you're enjoying that camper. We really love it. Really, there's certain aspects about it that we do miss, I got to be honest, but we're enjoying this one too. We don't really have any buyer's remorse. We really like this camper. They came by, and I let them I told them, I said, you can look around at it, and get a feel for it and everything, and which they did. It was dirty, unfortunately. I wish we had a chance to clean it up before they looked at it, because we were moving stuff and it had been sitting over on the lot over there at Lazy Days because it was being repaired. But they got to look in it, and we were actually in the restaurant portion of Lazy Days, and they were in there. We went in there, and they had told us that they had purchased it, so we were real happy with that, and I know they're going to get a lot of good use out of it. And if you have anything that you have any questions on it, always feel free to reach out to us. They did reach out to us on YouTube. They found us on there, and I'm really hoping that they are enjoying that camper as much as we did. We didn't have it that long, but boy did we enjoy that one, and we went a lot of different places in it, and that everything on that camper was, it was just a unique style. We really enjoyed it. Our new camper, which I'm going to do a brief overview and a brief on the inside, but we've done a lot of upgrades on this camper. Too much to mention in this video, which I will go in more detail on what we're doing, and some things you may want to look at on your camper as well. But we've done a lot of upgrades, which we're still in the process of doing. We've got this one staged at a campground not too far from where we live right now, because we're trying to get all the kinks ironed out and everything. So I'm actually recording from that campground right now, but anyway, we hope you enjoy the rest of the video. We're going to show you the outside, and then I'll give you a quick thing on the inside. And congrats to those folks that bought our camper. We really hope you enjoy that camper as much as we did, and we hope to see you out camping. But if you have any questions, please reach out to us. That's a solid unit, and like I said, we really enjoyed that camper. So but anyway, folks, enjoy the rest of the video. So it's got a little outdoor kitchen in here. I've got to get a latch for the fridge, because these things, if you don't know, these things will open up as you're going down the highway. It's got this little 2-burner deal here. Stay in place. I'm doing this one-handed, but not too shabby. Propane thing is right down below here, our connection, but we also have the Blackstone, which I was able to tuck in here, which I was pretty happy about that, that it actually fit in there. So outdoor kitchens are cool, I guess. But so we did take our Furrion camera off the old camper and put it on the new one. Nice thing about these, which we noticed on some of the Transcends, was these are solid like our old one. They're putting some type of aluminum metal, which I don't like on some of these, that was buckling and stuff. We did have them take our brand new Carlisles and put them over on this one. We took the Westlake's that were brand new off of this one to put on our old one. So but overall, It doesn't seem, it's only technically 4 feet longer than our old camper, but she's actually a lot bigger. There are some things that I've got to do. As you can see up here, I don't know if you can see right there, that Turnabond tape is coming off already, even though she's brand new. I will be getting up here and resealing this entire camper just like we did our 265. I'll be going through all these little areas and re-caulking everything and resealing the entire roof. So that's just something that I feel is really important, because like this here, I don't know if you can see, this has just got a gasket around it. It needs to be a caulk. I just all these seals in here, all this will be redone. Even though it's a brand new camper, these things come off the assembly line, and I'm not real, I like things done a certain way. I can see some things. I did notice on the up on the solar system that definitely needs some new die-core around it, or some die-core around it. They just didn't even die-core some of the areas, so that's a bit of a concern. So I'll get that taken care of. One of the things that we really like about the stick and tins that Grand Design does is the thickness of the metal. The metal that they're using here on these sides is actually the same thickness as what most people are using on their front caps, which is really, really thick. The other thing that I really like about it is it's really easy to clean. It's just as easy to clean as a fiberglass sided unit. Alright, so we're stepping inside now. You can see the kitchen, the bar area. It's got some little bar stools there. It comes with a table, and the couch, which we use a lot more. It's got a lot more counter space and cabinets than our old one did. Here's the dinette that we actually, and that was when we purchased this thing, we knew we were going to take that out. We made that into an office, which is still a work in progress. We're not done with it yet, but we'll show you the final video, we're close, of what that came out and what that looks like. So there's bar stools there. Passing through here again. As you can see, got the 12-volt fridge. So we're coming through. And here's the bathroom. Not quite as big as our old one. Bedroom's a little bit bigger with more counter space. But anyway, we really hope you enjoy this video. We'll be showing you some more of this. Please like and subscribe, and hope to see you on the road.